Neelin was 21, at an age where most people were busy living their life, chasing dreams, laughing with friends, making memories without thinking twice. She was learning how to survive hers. There were days she stood in front of the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back. Not because she had changed, but because life had changed her. Neelin was the kind of girl who filled every room with laughter. Her phone was full of selfies, her heart full of dreams she hadn't even spoken out loud yet. College corridors, late-night talks, small moments that meant everything. She believed life was finally beginning, until one day, her body felt tired, not in a way that scared her at first, just a quiet weakness that stayed longer than it should. A simple hospital visit, just to be sure. She walked in thinking she would walk out the same person, but she didn't. The doctor looked at her reports for a long moment before speaking. That silence, it felt heavier than anything. And then he said it, stage 4, blood cancer. Her heart started racing. The room felt smaller, her breath uneven. And inside her mind, one terrifying thought kept repeating again and again. I'm going to die. Is this the end of my life? She wasn't strong in that moment. She wasn't brave. She was just a 21-year-old girl who suddenly felt like everything was slipping away. Her mother broke down in tears. Her father turned away, unable to face her, and something inside Neelin shifted. That night, she lay awake in her hospital bed, staring into the darkness. And then, she heard it. Her parents, crying outside, trying to be quiet, but not quiet enough. Her fear didn't disappear, but something stronger rose beside it. If she broke, they would break completely. The next morning, she wiped her tears, forced a small smile, and held her mother's trembling hands. I'm still here, she said softly. We'll fight this, together. Again, from that moment, Neelin chose courage. The hospital became her world. Pain became routine. Needles, medicines, long silent nights. But she refused to lose herself. She smiled at nurses, joked with doctors. Why are you all so serious? She would say softly. I'm the patient, not you. Even on days when her body felt weak, she tried to make someone else smile. There was a little boy in the next bed. He was terrified of everything. Every time a nurse walked in, he would cry and hide. One day, Neelin sat beside him and held a small hand. I'm scared, he whispered. For a moment, she paused, because she was scared too. But she smiled gently. Me too, but being scared doesn't mean we stop fighting. He looked at her. His tears slowly stopped. If I can do this, she said softly, you can too. From that day, he started trying, and Neelin realized something powerful. Even in pain, she could still be someone else's strength. Days passed, until one morning, she stood in front of the mirror. She ran her fingers through her hair, and it fell into her hands. Her breath trembled. Her reflection felt unfamiliar. Is this me? She whispered. Tears filled her eyes. Behind her, she saw her mother, silently crying. So Neelin did what she had been doing all along. She wiped her tears, turned around, and smiled. It's okay, she said softly. It will grow back. But that night, she cried into her pillow, because some pain is too deep to show. And it didn't stop there. The treatment didn't just take her hair. It slowly began to change her entire body. Her face became swollen from the medicines. Her body felt heavier than before. Even simple movements made her tired. There were days she looked at herself and felt like she was trapped in someone else's body. She opened her phone one evening, looked at her old photos, the girl who smiled so freely, who looked so full of life. Then she switched to the front camera, and for a moment, she couldn't look at herself. Her eyes filled with tears as a quiet thought passed through her mind. Will I ever feel like me again? There were days she avoided mirrors completely, not because she was weak, but because it hurt to see how much she had changed. But even then, she kept going. Not as the girl she used to be, but as the person she was becoming. Outside the hospital, life moved on, her phone filled with photos, friends laughing, traveling, living freely. She would stare for a moment, then slowly lock her phone, because her life was different now. Months passed, pain slowly turned into progress, and one day, the doctor smiled. You're getting better. Hope returned. She went back to college, tried to rebuild her life, tried to feel normal again. But life had one more test. 6 months later, the cancer came back. This time, she didn't cry. She didn't speak. I can't do this again, she whispered. I'm tired. She refused treatment, not because she didn't want to live, but because she didn't know how to fight anymore. Days passed like that, heavy, silent, empty, until one day, someone stood in front of her. It was the little boy. You told me to be strong, he said softly. Now it's your turn. Her eyes filled with tears. A nurse added gently, we learned strength from you. Don't forget who you are. And in that moment, something inside her broke. Not her strength, but her doubt. She remembered who she was. She took a deep breath and chose to fight again. Not because she wasn't scared, but because she refused to give up. Months passed again. Pain, strength, hope. And one day, she sat in front of the doctor once more, her hands trembling, her heart racing. The doctor looked at her reports and smiled. You're cancer-free. For a moment, everything went silent, then tears. She looked at her parents, and this time, they didn't hold back. They cried because they had made it through. Neelin stepped outside the hospital, took a deep breath, and looked at the sky. The world was the same, but she wasn't. She was stronger, braver, grateful, because now she understood something deeply. Life doesn't ask if we are ready. Sometimes it changes everything in a single moment. It takes away our plans, our comfort, the life we thought we would have. And suddenly, we find ourselves in a place we never imagined, tired, scared, and unsure of what comes next. There will be nights when you lie awake, not because you want to, but because your thoughts won't let you rest. Moments when your smile fades and you quietly ask yourself, why is this happening to me? And the truth is, not every question has an answer. But even then, there is something inside you, something silent, something powerful that refuses to give up. Strength is not loud. It doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like holding back tears and still choosing to face another day. To those who feel left behind, while the world seems to move forward. To those who are fighting battles no one else can see or fully understand. Please remember this. You are not weak for feeling pain. You are not behind in life. You are going through something that requires a kind of courage most people will never have to learn. And even if today feels heavy, even if hope feels distant, This moment, this pain, this chapter of your life is not the end of your story. Because slowly, quietly, even when you don't notice it, you are becoming stronger. And one day, you will look back at this version of yourself, the one who felt like breaking, and realize you kept going. And that is something truly powerful. So hold on, even if it's just a little. Breathe, even if it feels hard. Because no matter how long this phase lasts, this too shall pass.